morning, everybody. As Gwen said, we're focused on northern Brazil. I've been working there for about 15 years, and I think I'm the only one on the podium in this session, at least, that's working in South America. By way of a summary, as I said, we've been working in Brazil as a team, as a management team, for about 15 years, and during that period, we've made 5 gold discoveries, one of which we've put into production, and it's still in production. Relatively small mine doing about 40,000 ounces a year called Palito. Our key asset is a project called Cuiú Cuiú. It has a historic resource back from 2011 of 1.3 million ounces. And we're right next door to Eldorado Gold's Tocantinzinho project. That is a development project. They're in the final stages of permitting. Cuiú Cuiú is pretty special for several reasons. One of which is that we've identified a gold-in-soil anomaly which is 18 kilometers long. It's enormous by any standard. We've got drill intersections in 8 separate target areas within that anomaly which are outside our resource. And some of the numbers, as I think you'll see as we go forward here, are pretty good. 39 meters at 5 grams in one area and 27 meters at 6.9 in another. Lots of news coming out. We expect an update on that resource estimate in the next couple of weeks. And beyond that, there's an awful lot of work going on the surface, lots of trenching and channel sampling. Pretty tight share structure. We've only been in existence about 7 or 8 months, so as Gwen said, our challenge has been getting our message out. Very few people are aware of the company, I think, thus far. We currently have 31.4 million shares out and about $3.5 million cash. So if you look at the enterprise value of this company, it's around about $6.50 Canadian an ounce in the ground. Word on management. We've just appointed a new chairman, a guy called Mark Smith. Mark's a geologist. He was an analyst in Toronto for several companies and an investment banker. And he was one of the first guys as an analyst to call the Aurelian story. Myself, I've got a PhD in geology. My whole career has been dedicated to South America. Previously involved with a number of companies. We sold the last one, Magellan Minerals, to Ross Beatty, Anfield Gold, back in May of 2016. Rory McKnight is our Brazil manager. He's the guy that put Palito into production. And our board includes Charles Oliver. Charles was previously the lead portfolio manager for Sprott Precious Metals, based in Toronto. Dennis Moore, who co-founded the company with me, he's a geologist, and Derek Wyrush, who's an accountant. So this area of Brazil, as I said, we're in northern Brazil, is pretty special because it's the site of the world's largest ever gold rush in history. So there was a gold rush up here that occurred that probably most of you folks have never even heard of, but it was 10 times the size of the California gold rush. So between 1978 and 1995, there are about 1 million people who rushed up to this area and washed gold from a number of streams, lots of different streams and rivers, and during that period took out an estimated 20 to 30 million ounces. And so I've been on a bit of a quest along with a few colleagues in terms of running down as many of the hard rock sources of that gold as we possibly can. Now the largest area in terms of the placer gold production from this region was Cuiú Cuiú. On its own it produced 2 million ounces. I don't know if you can make out there, but there is a structural trend, just like Jim was saying about the Golden Triangle in BC. Brazil's similar sort of geology in some respects in that all the known gold deposits are contained, most of them at least are within a northwest trend. I think there's 6 deposits on this map with 43101 resources. Our team's been involved in 4 of those discoveries. Our block here is in yellow. Eldorado's block, it's maybe a little bit difficult to see, but it's outlined in black. The main point from this slide is we're Eldorado's closest neighbors. So they have 2 million ounces. It's, as I said, in the final steps of permitting. If they get the permits, which I expect them to, and make a construction decision, this will be Brazil's 3rd largest open pit gold mine. We have 1.3 million ounces on their doorstep. The 2 circles here indicate where the placer gold was mined previously. So the placer gold that was mined from Eldorado's area was about 200,000 ounces that come out of the streams there. And the placer gold that was mined on our area was 2 million ounces. As I said, we've got an enormous gold in soil anomaly here. Again, when you make the comparison with Eldorado's adjacent area, they have a very nice gold in soil anomaly, about 3 kilometers long. We were directly involved in the sampling of that anomaly and identifying the target, and myself and my partner have just sold the 3.5% royalty that we had in that project. But at Cuiú Cuiú, we have a gold in soil anomaly at the same threshold, which is about 5 times as big. It's huge. So suffice it to say that everything in red is anomalous in gold. The black dots are where we've drilled. So this is where our resource is of 1.3 million ounces. It's split between 2 deposits in the central area and in the Moreira Gomez area. They're both open pit targets. They both come up to surface. This scale bar is 5 kilometers long. So most of the anomaly has not been tested. We've drilled a few holes outside these resources in 8 other areas. And there's a whole bunch of high-grade showings that are just coming to light now, which I haven't got time to get into, but I'll bring some rocks this afternoon. So if anybody wants to see what high-grade gold looks like, then come see us in the afternoon. But again, we have got gold in a number of these different areas. And if you look at where the placer gold was mined historically, this is a bit of a zoom in on this particular area and through here. Everything in white outlined were streams that were mined for placer gold. We know where some of the placer gold was coming from because we've got 2 deposits already. But most of the placer gold that was mined here, we don't know where it's coming from yet. We've got some pretty good ideas, though. As I said, we've got some drill holes in some other targets here that suggest there's a number of additional deposits here. And some of them are going to be high grade. But all these placer workings down here, all these placer workings up here, and all these workings up here, we have no idea where that gold is coming from. And this is just a portion of the property. Just to zooming in, looking at the areas around the 2 existing deposits. I don't know if you can read any of these, probably not, but we can go through them. If anybody's got time, by the way, we have a booth just outside the door as you go out on the right. This is the central deposit that we found first. We've got up here in the north, about 2 kilometers away, we've got 30 meters at 1.1 in a drill hole, 47 meters at 1.8, 9 meters at 5 grams. I think this is going to be one big system on its own. And this is just one part of the project. Down through the south here, we've got 27 meters at 6.9, 8 meters at 8 grams. And in between here, we've got 39 meters at 1.3. Big system. If you look at the next one, this is 5 kilometers away. This is the second deposit we found. What I'm trying to highlight to you folks is what's happening around the existing deposits. This is an east-west trending structure, so it's a little bit different orientation. Jerry Seamer up here, which is about 3 or 4 kilometers away. We've got 39 meters at 5 grams. We're pretty excited about Jerry Seamer. Look for some results coming on Jerry Seamer soon. Jerry Bajo, 41 meters at 1.3, 38 meters at 0.7. We found another one in here that we've got no results on yet, but it looks very good on surface. To the south here and to the north, we've got multiple drill intercepts, 3.3 meters at 7 grams, half a meter at 30 grams. There's a lot of high-grade material here as well as low-grade. So objectives for 2018, and this just shows some of this high-grade material. We're going to update the resource estimate. It's a near-term catalyst that will happen in the next week or 2. It will be the most important news release of our short life as a company so far. We are doing a fairly aggressive trenching program, which is highlighting all sorts of high-grade numbers. You can see some there. The Germano target, Villarica, Belenisca Lua, Mora de Lua have never been drilled. So we'll get to that later in the year. We're doing a lot of infill soil sampling, which is the key exploration approach here, and we expect to be drilling later in the year. So in summary, we've got an experienced team in Brazil. Some of you may not be familiar with Brazil, but as you may be aware, Kinross's largest gold mine is in Brazil. Anglo Gold Ashanti is very active with several mines in Brazil, and of course Yamana has been active there. Lee Gold has just bought Brio, making that a very large gold producer in its own right. So it's a good place to be. We have 100% asset interest in Cuiú Cuiú, a very large gold in gold in soil anomaly with lots of upside and lots of news coming out. Thanks very much.